Hey y'all, Stacy here, taking a look at the Color Me Pumpkin Warmer in a warmer watch. Now, warmer watch is just the process that I take my personal warmers through to make sure I want to keep them in my collection. Even though I'm a consultant, this is just based on my personal preferences. There's no guarantee that this is the way the warmer should work or will work in your home, and there's certainly no guarantee that my preferences will be your preferences. But I'll just talk you through what those preferences are as we're looking closely at this warmer, temperature testing the wax, and seeing how long it takes to melt a single cube of wax. Now, I purchased this last year and it is such an adorable warmer. You can see it's an element warmer here with the indicator light at the bottom. But even though this was very beautiful, I love the style of it and I love pumpkins. This opening here and the stackable nature of these pumpkins is what delayed my purchase of this warmer. When I looked at it online, I was a little bit concerned. Even though this opening is ample in space, I was worried about the fact that the warmer dish, the orange dish just below it, is completely closed. And I didn't see a lot of vents close to the warming area. You see the distance there? And the warming dish really does round to a close up here. So you can see there are no vents along the side of these. Well, really, it would only be the orange pumpkin. But this also is a very small opening. It looked smaller than it is. So looking at it just online, I was very worried that I wouldn't be able to get wax out of it. And you can see this is the large cotton cleanup and it doesn't fit in the dish itself. However, the small cotton cleanup does fit and it's quite easy to reach in and pick it up. And even if I'm using like a regular smaller cotton ball, just like a standard cotton ball like this one, you can see it fits in there, but the opening is, I'm able to reach my hand in there and pick it up nice and easy. I am a person that typically with my Scentsy Wax just pinches it out, like I let it get cold and I pinch it out. And with most of my warmer dishes, I don't need any sort of a tool to do that. Like I don't use a knife or anything like that. If I do, I use a spatula. And I will say for this one, a spatula is required for me just because I need kind of that leverage to get it started. But then once I get it a little bit lifted with the pointy end of the spatula, I can just pick it up really easily. But again, there are no vents on this and I wish there was. The element warmer is substantive and so stinking cute. You can see you have this element indicator light right by the cord, which, you know, has that nice notch out so that it sits flat. This element base is very secure, and so I love that for a stackable warmer. It does have a toggle cord. This is a 13-watt element warmer, so I do think it's substantial in the way that it heats up. And I think it was going to be borne out in this warmer watch that we'll see that it gets to a really nice temperature. I do think that the warmer dish, though, does impact things. And when I come back in voiceover after I place this single cube of wax, I'll talk about what my experience has been with the warmer and kind of its pluses and minuses. But again, I am really pleased with this warmer. Obviously, I did keep it. And it's not just a decor piece for me, which is what I thought it might be when I passed on it in its original launch and then ultimately picked it up at the end of the season. It's got some really great pluses, and I do think that this works very well for me, at least in my home. But let's take a closer look at its performance. I am going to grab 1 cube of vanilla amber and place it in this warming dish. Then I will set the camera to time lapse and we will watch this cube of wax melt. When I do that, I will put a timer so that you can see that in the bottom and I will join you in voiceover. And I'm back from the future. Now, this is, like I said, a warmer that I did not get until the end of the season. And all of the reasons that I shared when we were kind of looking at the warmer are why I delayed. I was worried about the size of that opening and the fact that the warmer dish itself didn't have any vents around it. I knew it was a substantial vent on that top pumpkin, but I was just still very reticent, I would say, to think that this would actually throw wax. Now, what I will tell you is I do not think that keeping the white pumpkin off of the orange pumpkin changes throw at all, at least for me in my space. Now, everybody's warmer differs, everybody's sniffer differs, all of those things. But just in my experience, and I did have this out for about a month and a half last season, and I'm excited to have it out again. There are a couple of spaces and places that a warmer like this plays really well for me, but even though this is a 13-watt warmer, I feel like it performs more traditionally like a 10-watt warmer. An example that I will give you is I love the milk glass warmer, and that warmer is, I think, retiring at the end of this month. I'm not sure. I need to double check that, but it's one of my favorite element warmers. It's a 12-watt warmer, which is 1 watt less than this, and it outperforms it. Now, I will say, like, it outperforms it significantly to me. And part of what I think makes that a standout warmer is, again, the design, the open dish of it all. One of the things that I have come to understand and kind of debunk in my own mind is that wattage by itself is a key indicator of success and heat. And I mean, I've seen much higher wattage from warmers that they just don't throw as well, and it gets right down to the design of the dish. Now, what I will say is that this dish does allow for scent throw, and I do feel like it performs well. For me, as long as the scent itself in my space throws at least a medium, then it's going to throw in the space. And I think it's important to really look at the surface area there. If you see that sort of dent around the dish at the bottom, the surface area that's actually coming in contact with the hot plate is actually the size of the opening of the warmer dish, or just about to my eye. And so there's not a lot of contact with the direct heating element. But what that does mean is that when it does warm up, this whole dish becomes warm. There's not a vent venting that. So it really does get to a nice, beautiful temperature that, in my experience, does evenly melt the wax. It just takes longer, and you'll see that reflected here. A lot of my warmer watches come in at the 20 to 30 minute mark, and on the higher end of that, those warmers that take a while to kind of heat up sometimes take a while to start throwing the wax. And that's the case for this warmer for me as well. Typically, it's right around this mark, right around the 20-minute mark, that I start to really be able to smell the scent in the space. And by the 30-minute mark or the hour mark, we really get to that final sort of scent throw for me with most of my waxes, and then it's throwing in the space. Now, I will say I do think that it's possible with some scents that it maybe bumps it down a notch. So if in my milk glass warmer I put like 1 cube of a stronger scent, I'm trying to think of one and I can't, but if I put a scent that I felt like was a strong throw scent and a strong intensity scent, I may still pick up that intensity at a strong, but the throw would likely be medium. So because of that, I do feel like it subdues some scents. It's not super noticeable to me, but this does make this warmer ideal for some spaces. Like, I love a warmer like this in my office because I'm not looking for maximum throw out of a single warmer in that space. Medium throw is really important to me in that space, just because I don't want to overwhelm people. And I mean, certainly if it does overwhelm folks, then I can turn the warmer off. But I am looking for more of an ambient sort of in the air smell that's a nice medium throw, but I tend to choose waxes that are, more subdued for that space. And that doesn't mean not fragrant and not throwing. An example of that to me would be vanilla amber. I feel like this one throws beautifully, and it throws beautifully in this warmer with the lid on. So we are actually getting close. You'll see this does exceed the time that is typical for me. Typically, I see a cube of wax completely pulled out and melted within 30 minutes, and it took us a little bit longer than that to get this cube of wax completely melted. So I think any moment now it's going to end, and I will meet you in real time. And we are back, and I think this cube of wax took about 35 minutes to really fully melt. Let's just do the outside edge here. And our temperature is right at 170. So this is a really nice temperature. I do want to go back in and just melt just the whole of the wax pool here and all the variation. Looks like an average right at about 173. So this is a warmer that gets the wax nice and warm to me. It just takes it a little bit longer to get there, but the performance over time is great and it stays at a nice consistent heat. So, I mean, everyone's different, but for me, this is not too warm for me to handle or be concerned about, and yet it's still really doing a nice job of warming the wax enough to accommodate this closed design with the cute, usable white pumpkin. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that we can stay in touch. If you made it this far, I want to say just an extra special thank you for joining me to watch wax melt, and I would love to hear in the comments below what your thoughts are on this warmer, whether you have experience with it or you're just judging mine. Talk to you soon.